Hey, good morning. It is Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. And it's the end of my first night shift. You can tell by the look on my face. First one's always the killer, as I recall doing this. Shut this off here. Because, well, yesterday I slept like a normal human being. Today I'm going to have to figure out how to sleep like a vampire. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. But, by rights, when I wake up today, I should know the fate of our country. Or, not necessarily the fate, how quickly that final nail is going to go in the coffin. The Georgia runoff is supposed to go on today. It's going to decide 2 Senate seats. That's going to basically give Vice President to be Kamala Harris the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. Now, what people are forgetting is that there's plenty of rhino Republican senators that would happily vote with the Democrats because, well, we need to show that we can compromise. We need to show that we're capable of governing and reaching across the aisle. And to them I say, sit on it. Nobody wanted to reach across the aisle and work with you for the last 4 years. So by this time tomorrow, we'll know if or what radical agenda is going to be crammed down our throats. We'll have a good idea of what freedoms we're going to lose. Because up until, it's all speculation. We'll know just how far down the shitter our economy is going to go based on this whole COVID situation that has been blown way out of proportion. Based on their Green New Deal policies, based on retributive taxation, based on redistribution. By this time tomorrow, we should know. Whether we've hit the life cycle of an empire, or whether maybe we get to stay on life support for a little longer. Couple of things that you need to go into this thinking. Number one, you need to go into this thinking, geez, I hope the people of Georgia get their asses out and vote. Number two, you need to go into this thinking, did I do everything I could to make sure I was in the best possible position to weather the storm that's coming. That's physically and mentally. Right? Are you in the physical shape? Do you have the physical items? Right? The tangible goods. Are you mentally prepared? That's going to be the big one. Are you prepared to be the eternal boogeyman? For their propaganda. The whipping boy, if you will. Right? Because we already know that every time groups like Antifa and BLM don't get their way legislatively, they're going to take to the streets and destroy something. And then the SOCOMs in government will be like, it was right-wing white supremacists. Are you prepared to be ostracized by people that you would have previously called your friend? Because, well, maybe 8 years ago, you thought differently and nobody really cared. 4 years ago, you thought differently. And they might have bought into the propaganda a little bit and thought you were all those things the mainstream media likes to call us. Now, you think differently. The mainstream media says these people have no place in society. Right? This is the shit that they've been consuming for the last 4 years. And they got their validation in this past election. Doesn't matter if it was legitimate or not. They got their validation that you are that evil, racist, sexist, homophobic, hater of all things non-fair. Because I think that's going to be the biggest one, is the mind mess. You can be in good physical shape. You can have everything you might need, or you think you might need, right? Because there's always that one more thing. A whole other topic. But that degree of normalcy that you thought you had when you walked out to get your newspaper, you'd say hi to that person next door that you knew voted the other way, but we've known each other for years. Excuse me. Now they've got their validation that they should treat you like the scum of the earth. Maybe they've got their validation that all that nice stuff you worked for, you really don't deserve because you're that evil, racist, sexist, homophobic POS that they've been told you are for the last 4 years. And they decide they want it. And, well, we know the ends justify the means. So do the math on that. Or maybe, if you're like me, behind enemy lines up here in Pennsylvania, they just decide they don't want you in their society anymore. Right? Because you got to figure, if I may use one of their words, I epitomize the intervention of their society. Straight, white, married, middle-aged, own my own home, cop, that votes Republican. How many of those intervention boxes can you check off? I'll wear that as a badge of honor, by the way. But if you're somewhere that's occupied territory, for lack of a better term, you have to figure out if you fit into that category. How you plan on dealing with that. Cut bait and get out? Do you keep your head down, try and go about your daily life? Mind you, you've now got all these factors working against you. God help you if you're in a state like New York. Was it Senate Bill 416? It says you can basically be detained indefinitely under medical causes. Kind of curious to see how that one's going to shake out. They've actually got the nuts to pass something like that in New York. And for the people that go on prepper channels proper, right? What I mean by that is, you know, the name of the channel is XYZ Prepper, and all they do is talk about SHTF, when the shit hits the fan, and this, that, and the third. Those are your high beams. Let me tell you something. The shit already hit the fan. Been saying that for a while now. For those of you that are in my age bracket, I'll put it in Snoop Dogg terms. The shizzle has hit the fizzle. And it's just a matter of how far away from that fan you're standing. When the next turd hits the blades. mistake. I think George's runoff today is an uphill battle. Using the same voting machines that they used to, well, you know. And if you think anything other than Joseph Biden being certified as president-elect is going to happen tomorrow on the 6th, I think you're off your rocker. I know there are some really smart people that think it could go either way. But at the end of the day, the die's been cast. You know where it landed. You're just waiting for the pit boss to read the numbers. That is all I got for you today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share it out amongst your friends. Sorry it was a little doomy and gloomy, but it's my first night shift, and I'm calling them as I see them. Be safe, watch your 6. Out for now.